Shinzo Abe may have just won a rare second term as party chief and Japan's prime minister, but large-scale protests in Japan continue against proposed legislation that could see Japanese troops engage in combat for the first time since World War II. The upper house of the Japanese parliament is expected to pass the legislation in a few weeks. Later, we'll talk with scholars from China and the United States. But first, for more on the controversy, here's CCTV's Terrence Terashima.
Despite continued protests to stop the security bills, despite solidarity by the opposition leaders, it is now a matter of days until Shinzo Abe's security package passed the Japanese Diet. Thousands took to the streets in protest to the bills that essentially reinterprets the pacifist constitution, allowing Japan to exercise the collective self-defense and taking out geographical constraints in providing support to the US security operations in the world. Protests like these are held virtually every week all over the country, but Shinzo Abe's determination to pass the security package overwhelmed the public opposition. Majority of people oppose the security bills, which also include a collective self-defense. People fear that it will enable the Japanese self-defense forces to assist US and allied forces in combat missions overseas, which also violates Japan's pacifist constitution. Shinzo Abe said that the support will be limited and the Japanese forces will not be directly involved in combat missions. But contrary to Abe's explanation to the Japanese public, some in Washington, reflected in Senator John McCain's comment earlier this year, expect Japanese boots on the ground in an event of crisis.
This has become a real major flaw in the U.S.-Japan strategy to bolster their alliance in order to improve deterrence. Because even if you pass these bills, if public opposition is so strong, if Abe continues to fail to really gain any public understanding, what does this really mean in practical terms of what he could actually do in the event of a crisis?
Experts say Washington and Tokyo still need to discuss finer details of the global security operations. But for now, Washington seems to be happy with Shinzo Abe, who has delivered more than any other prime ministers on Washington's wish list.
Majority of Japanese oppose Abe's security agenda, and very few Japanese actually support this legislation. So the fact that he's managing to somehow ram it through the Diet and make, his reinterpretation of Article 9 of the Constitution, allowing for collective self-defense, he's now providing a legislative basis to do that. Washington is very pleased.
Government sources said the security package is expected to pass the Diet around mid-September, which is the final chapter in the new US-Japan security agreement. Terrence, Terashima, CCTV, Tokyo.